pretty good topic here, like how to handle a job that you come in to take over once it's in progress. This can be tricky. Good evening again, everyone. This is Chris Work with ProfitDig, sitting here with Luke Fielder, Jeff Spencer. How you men doing?
Good.
You guys just talking about earlier, pretty good topic here, like how to handle a job that you come in to take over once it's in progress. This can be tricky.
You can.
Yeah, and you gentlemen seem to have a roadmap to help our viewers. So,
Man, I think Luke is in a position right now where he has come into this, particular topic, on a couple of different projects, and it's tricky. What do you do? How do you handle it? Well, you're at a disadvantage right off the bat because the contractor that was there before you were, he had a good set of drawings. He gave a bid off of, and he's got progressive payments. As the work he's completed over time. Well, he breaches his contract or whatever. They come to disagreements with him and the owner. He's out of the picture. Well, now Luke comes into play. We need Luke to come here and finish his job. How you going to price it? Well, I don't know exactly what Luke's strategy was or how he went about it, but in my personal opinion, it's like there's only two ways to do this. Either you have your surveyors do another topo. The engineers give me a new set of drawings based off of what work's been done. I'll bid that work based off of what is left to do. And Luke brought up a good point here in a minute. We'll get to it in just a second. And the other way is, the only fair way to do it is like time and materials. Because Luke is at a disadvantage. He has no idea what material has been moved and what material likes to be moved.
right.
It could be import. The original drawings may have showed, like a export job, but they may have wasted dirt or took dirt off this job and used it on another job and may have overused that job. And so now it took off more material once you got left, so now it's actually import job instead of export job. And that's one thing you do in a grading business. Like when you got a job in this general area, it's an export job. Well, when you got a job bidding in a decent, proximity, like 5, 6, 7 miles away, it might be an import job.
Got that material.
You got that material. Yeah. You can sell the material off this job and buy it on this job. So you can actually, double your money from one job to the other. That may be what they've done. They may have overloaded one job from the other and overexerted, and then Luke doesn't know that.
Exactly.
But he come in and looked at a job, and it was, just say a job, is like 70% complete. The owner's paid out 70% of his money, what he's got in his budget. Well, all right, Luke, I'll turn over to you now. Talking about the stakes a while ago, you went and looked at the project, and it's supposed to be primarily the grade, right?
But yeah, they're supposed to tie it in on, obviously on the new proposed contour lines, they're supposed to tie it in the natural ground. The stakes that I saw at the very end stakes was 3.5 foot cut at existing ground, where they're supposed to tie it in.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, and then also on top of that, you also had, like you said, the amount of material that they've already hauled in that I have no idea how far they are off of what existing ground was.
Yeah. So, there's really no fair way to do it. Like I said, there's only two ways to do it. That's a new topo, new set of drawings, and you go a bid based off those drawings, whether it be import or export. It is what it is.
Right.
If the owner has overpaid his initial contractor, that's a deal he's got to work out with them. Right. It may be a lawsuit, whatever it may be, but he's got to get his money back, to be able to pay someone like Luke to come in and finish the project. And the only other fair way to do it for both parties is time and materials, because as a contractor, you got your set rates for your equipment, you got your set rates for your men. That's covering overhead, that's covering your fringes, that's covering like workman's comp,
right,
and then a profit margin.
And the materials are the same.
Yeah, materials are the same. But in there again, you need to have someone. It shouldn't be up to Luke to go out and survey his job to put in a bid. The owner should be able to give him enough information, like if there's 5,000 feet of sewer on this project, how many feet's been put in?
Right.
How much have you paid for? If he's paid for, out of that 5,000, he paid for 4,000 feet, Well, Luke was there and looked, and like, well, I don't think that's right. You know, it looks like it's only like, 2,000 feet in. So, you got a 1,000-foot bust right there somewhere.
Yeah.
So, you got to figure that out. But, there again, if they don't want to go to the problem or the pain of having a surveyor to come in and an engineer to redesign it, like, hey, the only way I can do this is time and materials.
Time and material.
I'll give you my hourly rates, and this is what it'll be. We'll work till the job's done or till you run out of money.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much where I kind of work this bid in is just, there is still some fill material there that, and I'm just gonna act like there's enough material there, and then any added extra material that's just gonna be a change order. They're just gonna have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Cause they didn't really act like they wanted to kind of go to do a new topo, give me a new set of plans or anything. So I was like, well, that's gonna be the only, if you don't want to do time and material, this is how it's gonna have to be then, if that's the case.
Right.
I work, your budget's gone in there, there'll be a change order.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so whatever any kind of extra time, that's accrued for that amount of time that's gonna have to be for the change order, that's what they're gonna have to pay for.
And that'll work, but you gotta be diligent. You gotta, when you get to that point, you gotta stop.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
Don't let them talk you into, continuing on.
Mm-hmm.
Get that in writing. At this point on, it's gonna be X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's good stuff, fellas. Thank you so much.
Jeff G's got a question or something.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff G, our engineer this evening.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. Yeah. Hey.
I was wondering about like the kind of the tangential risks to taking on a job over for someone else. Let's say you took over a job and you weren't aware of how shoddy the work was.
But that's a good point.
So you did a very poor job and you're coming in afterwards. Do you risk putting your name on a job that someone from the outside may not realize that, half of that job was done by, these goofballs over here, LLC, and then this other half was done by TriStar Land Solutions.
But
You risk your reputation there, or the opposite way.
Right.
If you come in and you
Yeah.
fix it, does that give you a huge advantage?
well, it could, but the main thing is to protect yourself up front. That's a very good question, Jeff. I'm glad you brought it up. Because, like if they got X amount of road that's built or building pads, I need to see their test reports. I need to make sure that they was at, if it's 95% compaction, or if it's 100% compaction, whatever they're requiring on that job, I need to see the test reports, what they've done. Because when I get done, this road's gonna be mine. I've got to warranty this road for a year. I've got to warranty the building pads for a year.
You got to warranty their section too.
Their section, yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing, like on utilities, that's even more crucial than the grade work. If they got a bunch of water line in, a bunch of sewer line in, you got to go back and test somebody else's work. Yours may pass fine, but when you start testing theirs, if it hasn't been tested, you may be digging up stuff and fixing stuff from here to end of time.
Right. Yeah, that's where exclusions comes in.
Right.
Well,
Where you turn in your bid,
Yeah.
and that's one thing that definitely one thing that I included in mine.
Absolutely.
Any prior work before mine.
But that's a very good question. I can't believe we didn't touch on it, but yes, that's a very big concern.
Well, it's kind of the opposite. I was thinking like how you might use this as an advantage to develop that new relationship if you come in. But hell, if you come in and are actually able to turn the job around and make some money and move on to the next one, then you've developed that relationship if you get out unscathed.
Right.
I mean,
Well, and initially, in game, they're going to appreciate your hard work.
Oh, sure.
And get to the point you got to.
Yeah.
But when the owner is already paid for a product and they find out it's a shoddy product and now you got to go back and make repairs and do work, it's a hard bargain to sell.
I'm sure.
Because
they've already had this bad taste in their mouth from the
they've already
previous
spent their money,
contractor, right?
And now here they go back and spending money on it again.
Yeah, exactly.
And then which it trickles down to the property. To the new property owners, because the developers, they're going to take this property, they're going to lease it out or sell it to someone else.
Right.
Well, whatever cost they incur, they're just going to pass it on down the road to them.
Right.
As a GC, is there any method to protect yourself against that situation?
Well, it's like he's talking about like exclusions, and you got to really read through your contract and your agreement, to make sure that they're incorporating your exclusions and stuff. What you agreed on, and anytime you do a contract, if you can, try to always incorporate your bid proposal with your exclusions as exhibit A, B, C, D, whatever exhibits they have in there, let yours be the last one. Just get them to include your bid proposal with your exclusions as an exhibit in the contract, and then you are somewhat protected. Now, you know, you have some contractors that will send out a 300-page contract. There's no way you can go through all that amount of time, you know, and look at it. Most of it's boilerplate stuff anyway.
Sure.
You know, you want to look at your special conditions, you want to look at your scope of work, look at your liquidated damages, and look at, you know, anything that may pertain to the work that you're doing yourself. Now, as far as payment, insurance, you know, that type of stuff, you know, those are boilerplate. Everybody has to comply with the same thing. So, you know, just know your contract, know your GCs you're dealing with. And, you know, once you have 3 or 4 or 5 GCs that you trust, I would recommend focusing on those GCs. It's okay to pick up one every now and then, but, you know, you need to do your research and make sure, you know, they're a reputable company, you know, that you can get paid on, and they're not really you know, they're not trying to take advantage of you up front.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, fellas, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
It's good knowledge.
Have a good night.
See you guys. ProfitDig.com.